Mark from the States, Mark from the States, it's Mark from the United States.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Mark from the States. How are we doing today? I'm doing fantastic. I hope you are as well. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate all of you. I really do. I invite you to sit in this big fake couch next to me here. It fits all of us, as always. Today, by request, why an aviator wing-walked during a dogfight? What? That sounds ridiculous, but is it true? This happened during World War II. This is by the channel Yarnhub, and the people over there have graciously, of course, given us their blessing a while ago to learn and see new stuff from their videos. And boy, if you are not watching Yarnhub, you're missing out. It is entertaining, it is informative, it is incredible. It's animation, but the animation, I've been watching them for a while now, and just in the last couple of years, the animation has just been, wow. It's been, the improvement that they've made has just been incredible. So I encourage you, all of you, to get over there and support Yarnhub and go get lost on their channel. Below me will be 2 links, one to the video, so you don't have to hear me pause at that thing. Go watch it without me, then come back, and a link to the channel. So get over there, support them. It's real important that you do. If you have 1 like, 1 subscription to give today, as much as I'd love for you to give it to our channel, I encourage you to actually go give it to Yarnhub and support what they're doing. It's incredible. Makes learning history fun. Yes? All right, let's get into today's video. I am not sure if this is true. This is just crazy when you think about it. So, all right, let's try it.
It's the 26th of April, 1944.
Well, there you go. It says it's a true story.
And in dark skies over France, 21-year-old flight officer Fred Mifflin is at the controls of his Lancaster bomber.
Mifflin.
He's in one of over 200 bombers in the air tonight to take out critical targets in Germany, and German radar knows they're coming. Especially
Those are Lancaster. Yeah, it says it right here, down here at the bottom. Lancasters.
The adapted BF-110 with guns that point up eases under an unsuspecting Lancaster and fires. Inside of the cockpit of Mifflin's bird, the crew see a flash to the left, and the unmistakable form of a Lancaster on fire lights up the night sky. The 7-man crew look on in horror as one of their own goes down. Many of the Lancasters are lost this same way this evening. Approaching the target, Miff gets on the intercom and tells everyone to get ready.
Get ready, men. Coming close.
Behind Miff sits flight engineer Norman Jackson. Jackson has to jump up and fold the seat over as the bomb aimer scrambles forward and gets into position. The Lancaster is rocked, and the darkness is illuminated by flak as they get closer to the German factories. The plane lurches, and a cry comes over the intercom.
We're hit!
Flak has erupted nearby and has damaged the wing of the Lancaster, but Miff is a calming voice.
Don't worry, boys. I've still got her under control.
60 seconds.
Flares on the ground dropped by Pathfinders illuminate the target.
There's the spot bomb aimer. Plane is yours.
The bomb aimer peers through the sight, and as it slowly drifts over the flares that had been dropped earlier, the bomb aimer hits the release.
Bombs away.
They release the ordnance over the factory. Plumes of fire erupt as the bombs hit the ground. Miff takes back control of the plane and turns for home. Alone in the darkness is what they're all praying for. At higher altitudes now, the German radars pick up the large British planes with ease. And on this night, they're directing a squadron of night terrors, the FW-190s, also known as butcherbirds. And these ones are specially adapted for hunting at night. Upon receiving instruction from the ground, an FW-190 pilot quickly spots the lumbering British plane in the moonlight.
Especially adapted for bombing at night. I can only guess what that means. The paint to blend in with, so it's hard to see, I'm assuming. Interesting. Yeah. Being on these air crews, phew, brutal.
It's the perfect night for a hunt. The Lancaster has radar, but it's slung underneath the plane. From up high, the FW-190 is almost invisible. Inside the night fighter,
Ugh.
the German pilot
not good.
eases the nose forward, and in the clear moonlight, he sees the distant form of the Lancaster drift into his sights.
I have you now.
His finger hangs over the release as he moves within 50 meters and presses the trigger and lets loose with all he has. Cannons and machine guns shatter and pound, and he sees tracers
I love how he
snake
does
out
that.
towards the tail of the bomber.
I'm hit.
The German 20mm shells have plowed through the tail, and tail gunner Norman Johnson is now badly injured.
There's another.
Turrets of the Lancaster erupt in return, but the German pilot disengages, pulls up, and disappears into the gloom.
Keep them peeled, boys. He's out there somewhere.
Looks like you're on
The
fire.
190 reappears from 5 o'clock level position, and then fires a burst along the entirety of the bomber's length, punching through the fuselage and hitting the right wing. Without a tail gunner, Miff knows he's got to work hard if the crew are going to get out of this one.
Hold on, men.
He pushes a massive bomber into a dive and a turn, performing a corkscrew maneuver through the air in an attempt to throw off the 190.
That's got to be
Mifflin is a
unsettling.
great pilot, but the 190 is an incredible piece of machinery, and against the Lancaster, it can easily keep up with its superior agility and speed. The 190 follows, firing all across the aircraft. A shell strikes right next to the cockpit, and pieces of shrapnel pepper Norman Jackson's legs. He winces with pain, but as he does so, he sees the cockpit illuminated as fire bursts out of the holes in the wing right next to the engine.
We're on fire.
The remaining turret fires with all he has at the 190, but then the enemy pilot disengages once again and disappears into the dark.
Bandit's gone. Not for long. Check on Johnson.
Jackson watches the fire expand, gushing out of the many cannon strikes across the wing. If it burns for too long, it will snap the wing in half or cause the fuel tank to explode. But despite his injuries, he has a crazy idea.
Toft, Higgins, come over.
Ignoring his leg wound, Jackson calls for the crew and tells them his bold plan.
I can go out there. Where?
He plans to get out of the aircraft, crawl along the outside of the wing, and put out the fire. But they just need to hold on to him by his parachute, he says. The men are stunned. But
Just coming up with that idea. I don't even know how they would even agree to it. I mean, unless it's something that's, I don't know. It's hard. It did say at the beginning that this is an incredible true story. So, but I just find it so amazing.
Jackson's dead serious.
That's certain death.
Jackson considers his position. He calmly prepares as he explains,
I may be able to put the fire out.
Maybe.
If I do, you should be able to drag me back in. And if I don't, and I get blown over the wing, then just beat the parachute out best you can. What do you
Jeez.
think, Miff?
Mifflin is completely shocked, but Jackson is already shrugging off his injuries and unfurling his parachute. Without time to think it over, the bomb aimer and navigator take hold of the parachute lines, and Jackson steps up to the hatch.
What about
Ready? Ready.
The hatch is
fighters?
removed, and cold wind immediately blasts the men. The deafening whoosh is filling the bomber.
How's he going to hold
Mifflin
on?
takes the speed down as much as he dare, but they're still going 180 miles an hour at 18,000 feet.
Oh my God.
Undeterred, Jackson slides himself out into the freezing stream of wind.
Wow. Is this true? It's hard to believe. We're going to go ahead and try to do a little double check at the end, but so far, it's just incredible. Just want to remind you to go over and support them. This video has got me invested, to say the least. But the story is just blows me away. I don't know if I've heard of this. Maybe I have, and I've just forgot. I get so much information that my little brain can't handle it. I know there's a lot of things that I forget, and you'll have to let me know if we have mentioned this in another video or not. But this is just incredible, incredible.
Skies, Norman Jackson feels the wind slamming into his body, and he's buffeted about.
So,
He's carrying an escape axe, and he rolls and pierces the back of the axe through the aircraft's skin for support.
Is
as
that
he
even
fully
possible?
emerges from the crew compartment, hanging on for dear life. The crew slowly feed out the
180?
parachute as Jackson stretches down for the wing, the fire illuminating the path. With a colossal effort, he makes his way to the leading edge of the wing. He grabs onto the wing's leading edge and shuffles over towards the fire by hand and axe. Fueled by adrenaline, he gets up close to the fire. One-handed, he takes out the extinguisher as the heat of the steel he's hanging onto bleeds through his glove. He takes the extinguisher, shoves the nozzle through the cannon strike, and squeezes the handle. The inside of the wing is filled with extinguisher powder, and amazingly,
How
the
is that
flames
even not
start
just
to
blown
subside.
away?
He's doing it. It's working.
The heat is burning his hands, but he keeps at it, and miraculously, bit by bit, the flames recede until they're completely extinguished. The flames are out. He can hardly believe it. He's going to get back home and see his family. Just a few hours prior to this mission, he was told that his wife had given birth to a son.
No,
But up above,
that's not a good
someone
sign.
else sees the flames go out. It drifts
Of
down
course.
once again. The FW-190 pilot lets loose another volley of fire that finds its mark on Jackson's leg and right shoulder.
God,
He
that's
shouts in
brutal.
pain into his mask, just as the fuel tank underneath him is cracked open. Fuel spills out into the night air, and then a ball of flame bursts all around him. He falls off, and his body is swinging around now in the airstream. Within the plane, the crew feel his weight as the parachute lines tense up in their hands.
It's gone from the wing. We'll never get it back now. We've got to let him go.
They feed out the parachute and release Jackson. And the parachute is sucked out into the night
Oh my
air
gosh.
and set alight by the fireball. The Lancaster groans and lurches, rapidly losing altitude. Mifflin grips on the controls, keeping the plane straight and level for as long as he dare. But she's critically hit. He manages to get the Lancaster to a safer height and gets on the intercom.
Dropping below 7,000. Get out of here.
The crew rush for the escape hatch.
Johnson won't survive the jump, Smith. I hear you, Smith. Bail out.
At the rear of the plane, Smith is forced to abandon the critically wounded tail gunner and joins the rest of the crew
Why can't
as they
he get
jump
out?
into the night. They freefall for a moment until their parachutes blossom. In the distance, their flaming Lancaster loses control moments after they jump. Mifflin can't abandon the tail gunner, Norman Johnson. They're close friends. Johnson's injuries
Oh,
are
no.
too severe to survive a jump, and Mifflin takes the decision to try and crash land the plane.
Norman, I'm landing the plane. You hear me?
I hear you, Miff.
I'm here, and we're going to crash land.
Yeah.
You hear me?
Okay.
Okay.
Oh
Okay.
jeez.
That act was not to succeed.
Oh.
Both men lost their lives. A flaming parachute wheels and flaps in the night sky, with Norman Jackson attached. Incredibly, he's still alive. The ground approaching rapidly until
Oh
Jackson
no.
hits the ground hard. Smoke is still coming from his charred flight suit. He's in terrible pain, but he's alive. Bushes broke his fall, but even so, the impact was so hard, it's broken both of his ankles. His hands are badly burned, His legs are covered in wounds, and he has a bullet in his shoulder.
Help!
He's in desperate need of medical attention. He won't make the night without it. He sees a farmhouse. Harnessing all his remaining strength, Jackson crawls towards it on his elbows and knees. Shortly after, he was taken prisoner and sent to a German POW camp,
Oh my
which
gosh.
featured a large hospital run by captured Allied medical staff. Jackson would end up making a full recovery. The
Wow.
5 survivors of his stricken Lancaster stayed in camp until liberated in 1945. Jackson finally got to go home and meet his son,
Oh
who
my
was
God.
born on the night of this mission. Later that year, he was awarded the Victoria Cross for his actions on this mission. Upon hearing the news, his immediate reaction was, "What the hell for?"
So he got the Victoria Cross.
Norman Cyril Jackson
Huh.
passed away peacefully on the 26th of March, 1994.
Wow. Lived a long time.
It's hard enough doing these missions at night, but the Americans are doing them during the day. I know. Did you hear that story where only one B-17 came?
Oh, they're promoting
Yes,
another
I did.
video.
You can see the whole story here.
That's awesome. That's a crazy story. We're gonna have to see if we can verify this. That they're saying it was true. Let's go see if we can verify this. Okay, so we're over here at Wikipedia, and apparently this is true. There he is, Norman Jackson. But I just reading it is just it's even more crazier than the video is talked about. Couple things is this happened in 1944. Right here, Jackson completed his tour of 30 missions, but as he had flown one sortie with a different crew, he chose to fly once more so that he and his original air crew could finish the tour together. That's, pushing fate. And this 31st mission, this happened. After bombing the attack, right, Jackson, already wounded from shell splinters, strapped on a parachute and equipped himself with a fire extinguisher before climbing out of the aircraft and onto the wing, going 140 miles per hour. Crazy. He gripped the air intake on the leading edge of the wing with one hand, and he fought the fire with the other. The flames seared his hands, face, and clothes. The fighter returned, like we saw, and hit him with some bullets and stuff and knocked him off the wing. He did fall 20,000 feet. The parachute indeed was on fire and had holes, but it saved his life, held up just enough. This is bizarre right here. He suffered further injuries upon landing, of course, but managed to crawl to a nearby German village where he was paraded through the street. Awful. He spent 10 months recovering, and here we go. The story just gets even more bizarre. Spent 10 months recovering in a POW camp, and he made 2 escape attempts, where the second one was successful. He got out and made contact with the U.S. Third Army. And you know what the crazy thing is? This was actually already done before him by a New Zealander named James Ward. So it's a thing. Wow. Gotta hand it to Yarnhub. That was intense. My palms were getting sweaty the whole bit. Please go and support them. This was an incredible story. We've seen a lot of videos with VC winners and stuff like that. I'm surprised I haven't heard about this, or maybe I have and I just forgot, because that's always a possibility. I hope everybody's happy, healthy, and safe. Please go support Yarnhub. It's really important that you do. And also have a wonderful, wonderful day. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. We'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.
Mark from the States, Mark from the States, it's Mark. And he's from